that we can discuss if something does come up.
Nish
And
the
the
organic
organic
store.
Yeah, that's our episode name. Episode number 3, Nish in the organic store. That's I think that will remain an in-joke.
We'll have to explain it.
Maybe later.
Anyway, welcome to Quanda.
Hi, Jaquanda.
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
God, her eyes are magical.
Oh, no.
The lips are just full.
Yep.
But like still natural looking.
Yep.
Not like you could tell maybe she's had some Botox, but
yeah,
still looks pretty natural to me. Yeah, so what's been cracking, old leggy bear? Welcome to the studio.
Probably from the past time I was here, which was the last podcast, number 1.
Number one. Hit song, number one.
Unfortunately, myself and Jace here have come down with a pretty bad cold that somehow we caught from somewhere.
We're braving it to still bring you a podcast.
Yeah. So it's been quite a few number of days. So I've kind of like 80-90% over it. So yeah.
I should say that Logan had a cold and it's given it to the whole house. So he's trying to get just tiptoe around the whole fact that we've just unfortunately all come down with a cold at exactly the same time in the same environment.
Come on.
No, motherfucker, you gave us the cold.
No, I didn't have the cold before.
Why, man? Wear the thing over your face, then we wouldn't all be sick. So excuse us if we do a little sniffle and a little cough here and there. We currently have.
I'm fine. It's just my voice sounds a bit throaty.
So he gives it to all of us, and then now he's fine, and we're all the ones suffering. Thanks, mate. Appreciate it.
That's all right. Yeah, a bit of a weird time of year to get a cold like that. But we have had a pretty big cold snap.
Yeah, I haven't really thought about that actually. Yeah, it's a good point.
Because we had like the last week or so, like with like mornings down to like -0. So yeah.
But isn't that a myth? I don't believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you can't actually get a cold from going from a hot to cold climate.
I don't believe that to be the case.
Remember growing up, it'd always like put jumper on, you might get a cold.
I know. But it's pretty much just, I suppose the viruses or whatever kind of tend to thrive in better temperatures that are, not so hot. And then obviously, when you introduce, public transport and, the public and stuff like that, it just...
You said public twice.
Yeah.
Classic. We're going to do a new thing where if someone says something twice, we're just going to cut in and say, classic. Pew, 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 classic. Unfortunately, my editing skills aren't up for that. Pew, 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 classic.
Yeah, I think you'll need some outside help with that.
But I'm getting there. My editing skills are slowly getting
there. Yeah. I saw the new intro that we've got. At which point we hadn't done yet when we did episode 1. It was only done after that. And yeah, kudos to you, Jace.
Thanks, man. It was something that I remember talking to you about it. It'd be pretty cool just to do a time lapse of
I think
walking actually up the stairs.
I think before we did that episode was we'd already actually discussed probably the best kind of way we can introduce the show every new episode, and I think pretty much hit everything on the nail.
Thanks, man.
It was a pretty good idea, and it was pretty easy just to come up with.
And it works.
And it just works.
What I liked, if you actually notice, going going up the stairs and stuff, there's a little bit of dirt on the stairs and stuff, and I actually like that because it just like it's not perfect. Which
it just makes it more real.
Yes, and also too, it's not perfect, which is a bit like this podcast. We're just having a go.
Yeah.
It might not be perfect. It's probably a bit raw, but I actually like that element about it.
Probably best to describe it a bit rough around the edges.
Yeah, but like again, I like that's what I like about it. It's not heavily edited.
Yeah.
It's more natural for us too.
Yeah, definitely.
The only bits I edit out are pin numbers.
Yeah, that was a good one. Oh, I love that one.
I've got to figure out how to be able to just mute rather than edit.
Yeah.
But yeah, that will come with time.
Yeah.
YouTube.
Or just put like some kind of sample music just behind.
YouTube
behind
tutorials are my friend at the moment with this program, but we'll get there.
Yeah.
It's all learning experience for both of us.
Yeah.
But one thing we both enjoy doing it, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
So besides you being a bit sick,
Yeah, been a bit sick.
what else has been going on?
I've just been looking for work.
Oh yeah.
Kind of in between jobs at the moment.
Yep.
So yeah, just doing that.
How you finding it?
Yeah, look, I haven't really kind of devoted too much time into it at the moment.
Yep.
It's kind of early days, so I want to obviously kind of make myself known.
Yeah.
But not stress about too much.
Yep.
Yeah, so
Your industry is quite a hard industry, I'd imagine, to get into.
yeah, to get into.
It can be.
Yeah,
Maybe you should
yeah,
tell the listeners what you do.
Yeah, so
This isn't our first job, unfortunately. This is a side passion. Subscribe, and then one day this can be our job, Leggy Bear.
Our shared passion that we mutually agreed upon.
Any sponsors watching? No, I'm joking.
Hey, there'll be room for sponsors in following episodes.
Taekwondo needs a haircut. Sorry, a bit random. Should we perm Taekwondo?
I reckon that's a good idea. That's a really good reference to this year's Bachelor with Honey Badger.
No, true.
He's got a full perm.
Don't Isn't that so fake and scripted, a show like that?
Yeah, I know.
Really? Like The Bachelor. Surely they're all hired.
Look, I think most of the actual content they come up for the show is just basically the fact that they have 20 odd or more females all together in the same room. You're obviously going to get some cattiness, right?
Yeah.
And you're going to get some bitchiness, and you're going to get fights.
Yeah.
And that's just a TV show in itself.
Yeah.
I actually noticed. Was thinking about this the other day, and it's like, look, the more and more kind of ads come up on TV or stuff in the newspaper about it, and I'm like, gee, I know I'm gay, but Jesus, would you get a haircut?
Well, I can't really talk. My hair's pretty out there at the moment.
That looks awful.
Oh, thanks, man.
No, the honey badger, the perm.
I'm pretty sure you meant that about me. Because...
But it's good.
So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to shave the sides and grow the top. And I'm at that awkward stage. And the idea is maybe I'll tie it up. But maybe I'll get what you call in the industry as a Scottie Pippen.
Oh, I've never heard of that.
I totally made that up. So, or as you hear, or a Wesley Snipes.
Ah, right. Okay.
Or who else has a hair like that? Or a Will Smith in one of his old movies.
Okay.
Yeah, where I get it looks permy, like the honey badger, but it goes straight up and he's square.
Ah, so
I look like an 80s
No.
I look like an 80s
like Justin Timberlake in the early NSYNC days.
Oh, yeah, well.
Because he had kind of a perm, but it wasn't just a mop like the honey badger is.
Yeah. Maybe, so like an 80s action star, dark-skinned action star, or an 80s rapper.
The last action
Going up the
hero.
stairs,
Good movie.
going down the stairs, going up the stairs, going down the stairs. So I'm at that awkward stage trying to grow my hair. My hair's like really thick naturally.
Yeah.
So I'm fighting through it though. Last time I tried to grow it was many, many years ago. And I got over it and just got a haircut.
Yeah, because, I mean, I haven't really known you to really ever have long hair.
Yeah, yeah.
So you know, it'd be very interesting to see kind of what you look like with it.
I don't know if it's a thing. It's what happens when you get older, but I'm actually like enjoying the longer hair. Besides the greys, but I can't help that unless I just ferment it or something. and just FYI, if you dye your hair and your hair's black, don't get black for just for men. Get the darkest brown because it'll look more natural.
Yeah.
That's the only lesson I've learnt from my father.
That's I've never thought about it. But thinking about it, it's kind of makes sense.
But I've got a few greys coming through, which is a bit I don't know how I feel about that, but I'm managing to deal. Unfortunately.
See, I think with a lot of that stuff, it's like, are you 100% sure that it's grey and not silver?
No, it's actually white. I've got random pure white hairs, and I've just always hoped that it's like something about diet.
Yeah.
But obviously, I'm going to go I'm going grey or white or whatever. But
well, hey, it's better than having thinning hair and a receding hairline.
Well, they both have their good and bad points.
Oh.
Yeah, like visually, I've still got a full set of. I can give you some of my hair actually. Is that where you're going with that?
We'll go to Ashley and Martin.
Have you seen how they actually do that? Like hair. Have you seen like images of a hair transplant?
No.
What they do is they cut a bit of hair out from the back of your neck, and they transport it to the top of your head. They sew it in, but if you actually like get the back of your neck like shaved, you just always got this massive line scar across. So like, if anyone's thinking of getting a hair transplant, really have a think about it, because is it worth getting scarred over? Just do a George Costanza. Just wig it to pay it. Do you remember that episode? Where he came in with just full luscious hair and Elaine hated it?
Yeah, I know.
Hopefully, Seinfeld reference number 1.
Yeah.
Should we have just a random reference in every episode of Seinfeld or something?
Yeah. I actually brought this up with you the other day. I don't know if a lot of people out there know, but I suppose it's I don't know how well known it is, but apparently with every single episode of Seinfeld, there's either I think it's a reference or like an image of Superman in every episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, like in the background, or like on a magazine, or like, just somewhere where they'll just stick it in there. So
do you want to trick the watchers, and then as we're doing the podcast, we just add something sneaky to our little studio, and then like after hopefully 9 seasons, we can write it in our Wikipedia.
Yeah, that's a good one.
There's a little hairpin in each episode. See if you can guess it.
Or because this room that we're doing it in is a music room, so we could stick in
multi-purpose room, my friend.
Yeah, multi-purpose room. All right.
Pass me the bongos. I just feel like doing an impromptu jam sesh.
Be careful not to knock over my drink.
Do you want to vanilla ice it for me?
I don't know how to vanilla ice.
Ice, baby. Alright, that's enough. That's enough of my improv. Let's have a segment that it's like Jason's bongo, 10 seconds of bongo. And I'll just come up with a random beat, only for 10 seconds of the podcast.
That's good.
Maybe like listeners was like, oh my god, when's this bongo segment coming up?
Oh no. You know, you should you should stick it in whenever like there's a pause, like we're thinking of something or we're trying to remember something, and you can have that like as like an on hold music.
It's like Jeopardy, yeah? Where it's like,
Yeah.
doo, doo, doo,
Yeah,
doo,
exactly.
I'd be like, poof, doof,
Exactly.
doof, doof, doof.
It's like elevator music, you know.
Maybe I'll get spotted for my bongo ability, and then I'll become world famous in like travel Africa playing bongos. Oh.
Have your own show on like MTV or something.
Vice, SBS Vice, the African bongo traveller. He discovered a passion of bongos. His hands were fluent. He could not be stopped. Oh, that's classic.
Yeah.
So what else has been happening, big fella? Looking for work. You've been sick.
Yeah.
You made us sick. I'm not looking for work. I'm currently fully employed.
Yep.
Um,
So how's that been treating you? You're finding business kind of drumming up a bit with winter kind of officially being over. Thank God.
yeah, it actually the last 2 days have been quite good. So work is getting a bit better, like a bit more frequent, which is good.
Yeah.
I should say I look after pools and spas. Everything to do with pools and spas. Shout out.
Pools and spas.
Spas and pools. Pools and spas. Spas and pools. Does little Timmy want a pool? Check me out. Nah. Yes, I look after pools and spas, equipment, clean them, do whatever you want. I sort of run my own business in regards to it as well. So, and then this podcast sort of venture is just a little cool project I had on the side.
Although you could probably better look after your own spa.
Yeah, our spa's pretty green at the moment.
Yeah.
That's what they say though. If you do something as a job, they say like for example, never buy a car off a mechanic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
it's like they do it all day as if they want to look after their own shit.
Never
Buy a computer from an IT guy.
I think there is a bit of truth to that.
I just want to touch on. You just made me think of something.
What's that?
Saying IT. Number one, remember in primary school, Monster Truck Jam in the library?
Monster Truck Madness.
Oh, sorry. How could I forget that? Did I mash up two games? Monster Truck
Jam was
NBA.
Yeah, NBA Jam. That was one of your favourite ones, wasn't it?
Monster Truck Madness. I used to run to the library because it was like some people might not actually know this. This is weird. Yeah. We had to play games on CDs and floppy disks.
Yeah.
So you had to run to the library to grab a CD or floppy disk.
And it's not like, you know, like everybody could play the same game at the one time.
Yeah.
Like if you got a particular game that was yours,
Yeah.
nobody else could play it.
Yeah. It wasn't all network.
Yeah.
Another thing too that it reminded me of just then is, did you ever play marbles?
As in like the
in like lunch and stuff.
Yeah, I used to. I was pretty bad at it.
All I remember, like, it used to be big marbles, small marbles, and if you saw like a marble with like glitter and stuff in it,
like a galaxy, we called them galaxies.
Oh
remember?
man, you were king.
Yeah.
You were king of the school.
Yeah.
But you know what else? What else you had if you're king? Steelies.
Oh,
if you had Steely, you were legit.
Oh
Like, everyone would be like, bro, I'll hit you 20 times, go around a tree to get that Steely, and you just got to hit me once.
Wow. I haven't heard that term in forever.
Oh, man. That was simpler times.
Yeah, I know. It's funny. Today, I've been reminded by Jason of two terms from our primary school days. Clag and Steelies.
Clag. Who remembers Clag?
I remember, wasn't it a thing where, like, you used to, like, eat clag?
Yeah, I seem to remember that. It's just like it was a thing.
But not that I remember doing it.
Imagine the outrage on social media these days if, like, a parent's like, my kid's eating clag at their school. Your school's so terrible.
Yeah, I know. God.
There's like, hey, we should actually check Facebook. There's probably, like, clag groups. Clag remembrance groups. There's always a few things I remember from primary school. Clag.
Yeah.
Tubs.
Oh, tubs. Oh, yep.
Four square, two square.
Yep. Yep.
What else? There's always in every like primary school or childhood. There's always like select few things that you just like. They were the days.
Yeah. So I remember like 2020. We at our primary school we had like a really big kind of playground.
Yeah.
And
We both went to the same school,
and it was really good to play 2020 because you know you could play with like 20 other kids.
Yeah.
And yeah, so
the Big Adventure.
Yeah, I know.
Which was just a playground, but we used to call it the Big Adventure.
And they had a smaller one called the Small Adventure.
Remember the Big Adventure? It was like we play a game that like you'd have to be on the Big Adventure, but the ground was lava.
Yeah, I remember that.
And like if you got pushed off or whatever, you're out.
Yeah, I remember that.
Going back to our like the computer games and stuff.
Yeah.
I know I've brought this up with you before, but like back in the day, probably maybe I'd like to say maybe late primary school, early high school. I had a Windows computer. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like old school.
Yeah.
And I remember I can't exactly remember it, but I must have had like I don't know 2 meg RAM or whatever. and
oh yeah,
I had 2 meg RAM and like Windows 3.1. If you don't know what that is,
you stuck in extra RAM.
If you don't know that, that's like the first Windows to like ever come out. That's how old we are.
Yeah.
Anyway, I remember I was so boss. I upgraded to Windows 3.11 and I doubled the RAM. And as a kid, I just thought I was balling. I had all these 2D games, and man, I was just balling. It was like that was life. I was like, "How's your little peasy 1 gig RAM? I've got 4." Or like dial-up internet.
Yeah.
Do you remember?
Yeah, because as kids, like if you wanted to like get onto the internet, like you know when your parents went to bed or whatever, and you have to be real quiet, you'd have to like dial up to the internet, and you'd have to like put the modem under like the covers so it would like mute the sound, you know.
Oh, you just brought back so many memories. One of them, like one memory I have, is. Like, say you're connected to the internet because you used to use a phone line.
Yeah. Get off the internet, Jason! I want to use the phone!
So like, you'd be finished school, you're going through puberty, you've just connected to the internet, you're like on AOL or like on MSN Messenger, you're like chatting up some chicks, in my case, trying to chat up chicks, be all cool. If you're a girl, trying to chat up guys, and then you're thinking you're getting somewhere, and then all of a sudden a family member's like, "Can you get off the phone? I gotta make a phone call." And you're like, "No!" So you quickly try and end it like, "Yeah, I'll come back on. We'll have a chat or whatever." And then like, you know, your parents might be on the phone for like an hour and you're just trying to like, "Get off the phone! Get off the phone!" And then you finally get that moment of like connecting back to the internet and they're gone.
Yeah, I know.
And like, as a kid hitting puberty, you're thinking you're in and you just shattered. You're like, my whole world is over. Had one chance, one opportunity. Oh, man. Some people just never have to go through that. And you know what? I don't wish that on anyone.
No, I don't.
Always,
but you know what? Having gone through it obviously gives us enough to, you know, appreciate the newer things in the world.
Don't take fast internet or faster and internet for granted, guys, because we had to dial up.
Yeah.
And like, say we want to look at a picture, it'd be like, we had to go through that. And it'd take like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
You'd go like cook noodles after school while you're waiting for a photo to load. You watch some Cartoon Connection. Like, you watch some Amazing Things.
And like you
do you ever remember Amazing Things? Or Amazing? I think it's called Amazing.
Are we talking about the
game show?
Oh,
where they'd go through a maze and have to collect keys.
Oh yeah, I remember.
And they used to play like Mario Kart and stuff.
Yeah. I
remember as a kid screaming at the TV like, "The key's behind the wall! The key's behind the wall!"
Oh, that's funny.
Oh, and like some of these kids used to actually annoy me because the keys were in such obvious places
Yeah.
sometimes.
Yeah.
What was the name of the person that hosted that? I forgot.
I think it was it Jesse Tobin?
Oh, I can't
And there was another chick. There was a guy and a chick.
Was it? Was there a chick? Oh, I only remember the guy.
Oh.
Everything. I don't know if this is like an old person moment, but everything just seemed like simpler back then.
Back in our day.
Listen up, Timmy. Back in our day. You don't know what it's like. Back in our day, mate.
You know,
I used to have to walk to the local milk bar. None of this online shit, mate. You kids have got it too easy.
no
You want
Uber Eats.
You want a bloody coffee? Go to the coffee plantation. Go make it yourself, mate. Grind it up.
Yeah.
None of this Uber bloody eats, mate. Get a coffee. Lazy generation.
I know.
No technology.
I actually got my my first internet through. Okay, so there was a period of time back in the kind of mid to late 90s where you were basically flooded with usually like kind of like once every few months in the mail or like on a magazine you'd buy.
Oh, I remember computer magazines with the subscriptions.
Yeah, you'd have...
And you'd have like a month free internet.
Yeah, and you'd have like a free AOL internet, right? And so that's how like me and my sister, we try to convince our mum to get the internet because we were like, Mum, this is like 3 months free. This is like free. You only have to put your credit card in just so if we get it afterwards, you know, like, and that's how we kind of like, you know, got it. So yeah, and AOL was a whole other thing. So
I can't believe we lived through a period of no internet.
Oh no. But you know what?
We lived through a period of no smartphones, no internet. Oh, do you remember your first mobile phone?
Yeah.
What first mobile phone did you have?
That was a Nokia 2100. It was like a blue, and it was just like wide buttons.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I remember my before I had a mobile phone, my sister got a mobile phone.
Yeah.
And it was like an old black Ericsson.
Okay.
Like normal like blank screen,
Yeah,
like no color, no nothing,
yeah.
and big ass. It was like a home phone, but it was like mobile, yeah. But I thought it was so cool because it came in between the keypads, was like a fascia.
Okay.
So you could pull the blue fascia off and put an orange one on it.
Okay.
And I remember I thought I was so funny. Like my sister once had a blue one, and I'd change it on her, and all of a sudden it'd be orange. She'd be like, "Jason, why's my phone orange?" I'll be like, I gotcha. They were the punk days before Aston Kutcher did punked. That's really punked.
Yeah.
But I remember I had like, do you remember 3, the mobile network 3?
Oh,
and
yeah.
they did phones and stuff as well.
Yeah. So I actually went with 3 probably for a couple of years.
Yeah.
And I remember they were quite a big sponsor back in the day for like Big Brother.
Yep.
So it'd be like all 3 commercials and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Oh man, that were the days.
Yeah.
I had a 3 phone. I had a... What else I have? Ooh, I think it was called a Motorola Razr.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, it had like a coloured basic screen on the inside.
Yeah.
And black and white on the outside.
Yeah, that was classic.
I had an orange one.
Yeah.
Oh man, I was pimping. The girls were flocking. I was pimping.
Yeah, the Razr was pretty much eye candy.
Was it?
And it was pretty much you know, pretty much a fashion accessory, really.
Yeah.
It started the whole trend of mobile phone design, being all trendy and
me and my Motorola, my orange Motorola Razr, hanging out at the local shops in the food court with a tub full of gel. That summed up my early high school, I think. Me finding my independence, puberty hitting, and just balling. I was flat out balling.
Yeah.
Yep, no style. I had a Peter Andre haircut. and my little orange Motorola flip, like, hey baby girl, How about you put your number in this? Oh, I've got many memories.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's kind of funny now that so much time has gone by that I suppose for me, and I suppose yourself, is a bit hard to imagine life before even Facebook.
Yeah, it was so
Like
strange.
even like when we had mobile phones and everything like that, and you know
But you know what? It's I find that exciting because I'm sort of excited to see what happens as we get older.
yeah
Because obviously we've had like substantial things come out like Facebook or Insta and all that sort of
yeah
stuff. Imagine another 10, 15 years. Like,
mm,
I wonder what the next sort of cool thing is.
yeah
Like,
yeah
I'm excited and what technology's like.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm super excited.
Yeah, I mean, I think now that they'll probably, what are we, 2018, and probably, well, to actually think about it now, I signed up for Facebook, like pretty much like 10 years,
Yeah, well, I seem to
nearly.
recall it's probably like 08 or
Yeah,
09.
it was 08 for me, like in the second half, so literally like to the month, nearly 10 years.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Because I actually got my, those things on Facebook that you go through and they're like, oh, you've been friends with this
Yeah, yeah,
person for X number of years or whatever,
yeah.
and I think I got my first one for 10 years,
Oh, wow.
and I think it was either for you or either maybe Dale or Brett,
Which is
one of the others.
more friends in our friendship
Yeah,
circle. Shout out Dale.
yeah,
Shout out Coon Diggity.
yeah. But it was funny, 10 years, Jesus.
I know.
Facebook's been around for that long.
Dale, I remember when I was like probably or when everyone's like 15, 16, they can't wait to be 18.
Yeah,
All right, and once you hit 18, you're loving life. You're finally going out partying.
yeah,
You know, like in my case, like me, Daniel,
yeah,
Dale, and stuff. We
yeah,
were like cruising. We all
yeah,
had some cars and stuff. It was pretty cool, loving life.
yeah,
Going to like summertime comes, we're just at beach all the time and
yeah,
stuff. Like fun times. And then I remember like it was my cousin said to me, enjoy that 18 21 because as soon as you hit 21 you'll be 30 like that. And I was just like, yo man, you don't know what you're talking about. It's gonna take ages. I'll never be 30.
yeah.
And then honestly, your 20s, they go super quick.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's because like pre 21 everything's still new, and then once you hit 21 you're sort of used to everything, and then everything becomes a bit mundane and you just sort of go with the flow, and then it
Yeah.
goes like that
Yeah.
because like nothing's really that new anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, actually, like I turned 31 last month, and
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
I
it
think
has
it's,
gone like that.
yeah, I think it's a combination of, um, I think they have actually like, scientifically like made the, um, like thing where how like everybody says, oh, life goes so quick,
Yeah,
and that kind of thing, that whole thing is like scientifically and technically not true.
yeah.
It doesn't go quick. It
Mm.
just it's just basically the way that it's perception.
Yeah, that's
So
right.
it's obviously the way that you look back, and obviously, you know,
Yeah, well, time's always going to be time. You can't alter
yeah,
time.
yeah.
So yeah, it's just that's what I mean.
So obviously, when you're going through something, it always seems
But
forever.
if you
But
got
when you look back,
yeah,
it doesn't seem that long.
yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's all exactly.
But yeah,
Yeah, it's so like it's so strange going through 20s and then hitting 30. Man, I wonder what it's going to be like when we're 40 and 50.
yeah, I know.
Are we going to be like the same old? You reckon? You reckon time will fly? You reckon now that we're like in our 30s, time will fly till we're 40?
Yeah,
I think it's just because we're just used to stuff.
yeah,
Being used to stuff, you just don't really think about it because you're just on almost like an autopilot,
yeah.
maybe.
Obviously, because I think when you're in your kind of early 20s, just out of school, you've pretty much kind of like you open up, you're kind of opened up to the world. Where you get your first job, and you do that, and everything like that. Where you have so many opportunities, but obviously when you become like 30, 40,
Yeah.
it's like, okay, as you said before, it's kind of like that mundane kind of like, okay, well, this is my life. Um,
Oh my God. Do you remember that show, This Is Your Life? I think it was hosted by Eddie McGuire or something.
no, This Is Your Life with something Monroe.
That's how bad.
Michael Monroe? No.
That's the sort of bad television we grew up with. I used to watch a show about someone telling someone else about their life.
Man, it's actually thinking about it. It's actually quite close to the format of like what's that show? Um, who do you think you are? I think on like ABC or SBS.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Where they trace back their
Yeah.
heritage and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I've seen it, but I haven't.
It's kind of like that, kind of the same.
Speaking of that, I've been having more and more thoughts lately that I got to start chasing my heritage. Yeah, I'm really, as like younger, I didn't really care about it. I still like, I'm getting really intrigued. Like I'm just tracking like my bloodlines and just finding out actually who I am, I guess.
Yeah, well,
You get to some point where you just like, you might not go further than that, but you just sort of want to. You get intrigued, I think, to know where your bloodlines are. It's just interesting to me.
Yeah.
Because like I've got a Mauritian father that was born in Mauritius and then came to Australia, which I think I've covered before.
Yeah.
So I know I've got Mauritian blood, but I don't talk to the Mauritian side.
Yeah.
So because of that, like it's hard to sort of gauge where, like how far back I go, whether we branch off to other areas.
Yeah.
And then I've got an Indigenous mother, which I don't talk to as well. And I wasn't raised Indigenous. So to me, it's really interesting to see, to figure out and find out like where that side stems from.
Yeah, because it was never really kind of it was never really exposed to you when you were a kid, where you just kind of, you grew up in a normal kind of,
so like
everyday house, and you had a normal childhood.
Yeah,
and you were never exposed to that kind of heritage and that when you were a kid.
I think I'm going to cover like my upbringing and stuff in another podcast because it is quite interesting, and I might be able to sort of reach out to a few people just to let them know that even if your upbringing is very different to what you consider these days as a normal upbringing, doesn't mean you yourself can be normal. It doesn't mean you have to go off the rails, as they say. Like you can still have a future. But yeah, getting back, like obviously I was raised by my sister, my loving sister, shout out, and my sister's partner Richard, which they raised me from quite young, quite a baby. So so where was I going with this? So because of that, and due to that, I didn't know straight away about sort of my Indigenous blood or culture, and I wasn't really raised with that. And to be honest, once I did find out, I was a little bit like I didn't really want to tell a lot of people because just my own insecurities, I guess. But as I've got older, I've embraced it a lot more, and not as well as embracing it, I've also just become really intrigued. So wanting to do research, and I think the next step is like I'm just really intrigued. I want to know where my bloodline stems from, what bit of Australia, whatever. So yeah,
because it just kind of it just helps you to just kind of connect with something, and to know that you're kind of a part of something.
Yeah, but I think in myself, the more so, I think I'll find the history like interesting. It'd just be cool to know like my ancestors like grew up down there and this and that, So
I mean I've been kind of the same in that respect, but I was going to say before, isn't it interesting that when you kind of hit that kind of 30 kind of age, you kind of start to think about these things.
Yeah, it's really strange.
And it's like before, it's like you wouldn't have a care in the world about that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
and it's just funny when you kind of, early mid 30s, you just start going, oh, I need to I need to connect to something. I need to belong to something.
Yeah, it's really strange because, all through my 20s, I was just like having a good time, mates,
Yeah.
partying, cars, stuff like that. And then, as I've got older, I've just had this, like, suppose, more interest in
Yeah.
just figuring, I wouldn't say figuring out who I am,
Mm.
because I 100% know who I am,
Yeah.
and I'm comfortable with that.
Yeah.
But just figuring out what blood runs inside me.
Yeah.
And I think there's no harm in that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean.
Do you know your Do you know your complete heritage?
Look. Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I mean, like going back to what I was saying before is, I'm kind of like that in the respect that, some of my heritage goes back to Germany and Austria,
Oh wow,
and
that's pretty cool.
so my grandmother and my grandfather kind of were over there when World War II was happening, and
Okay.
they basically were literally like there when the bombs were dropping.
Yep.
So and then they obviously migrated over here.
Yep.
To obviously get away from that.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I remember as a kid, listening to some of the stories that she used to tell me about that kind of time, and she actually spoke German as well as English.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'm quite interested in a lot of the World War II stuff.
You're lucky that she shared stories with you, because a lot of the older generation sort of just keep old stories to themselves, and
Yeah.
that like it's hard for them to share it.
Yeah, I think
I don't know if that's an old thing.
Yeah,
but...
to be honest, I don't know.
Yeah.
But
Because even trying to find like old like family stories out, like it's never really discussed around the table
Yeah.
much or anything like that. It's something
Yeah.
that you have to, if you want to know, you have to really pry into.
Yeah. And and I think well, I mean, I kind of I was told, some of those stories pretty much kind of when I was probably, kind of probably just before I was a teenager. So, kind of like 12, 13,
Yeah.
14.
Yep.
And yeah, it's just I mean, I'm quite interested in a lot of the World War II documentaries and
Is that sort of why you want to visit? Where you want to visit a little bit?
Yeah, it would be.
Yep.
Yeah, it would be. Yeah, our other friend who we used to go to school with, Jamie.
Fast Jamie.
Shout out to Jamie.
Was it Fast Jamie?
No,
King KM.
the
one and only.
Yeah, I nickname him Jazzman.
I wanna dance. I wanna dance all night until the sun shines bright. I wanna dance. That was a song written in Year 7 by me and Jamie called Dance 2000.
Really?
Yeah, really, and that's the only lyrics we got. There's another song me and Jamie wrote. They're knocking on my door twice a day. My mama says, "Hey, hey."
I think I actually remember.
No, I think it was my mama says, "Wait, hey." That was yeah, that was the height of our music lyrical career.
Sorry to digress, people, but This reminds me of something really embarrassing
Oh, what?
and funny.
What?
Do you remember? I believe it was year 7 music class, and we had like a project at the end of the term or end of semester or whatever that we had to do as a group, and it was me, you, Jamie, and I think
King Cam.
another one of our friends.
Yep.
And we had to do this music video. And
Did we do it about wrestling?
No, we didn't.
Okay,
But
that's another story.
There were plenty of wrestling outside classrooms back in the day. I remember. We did it to Destiny's Child.
Oh, jeez.
One of the first songs that they released. I can't remember what it was called, but man, if we had that video,
I'll tell you. That's funny, but I'll tell you 2 funny stories. That Jamie, if you're watching this, you will piss yourself laughing. And hopefully, the audience will find it funny. So me and Jamie started out in prep together. We became friends. As we grew older, in primary school, I think we wanted to like try get in with the girls a bit more. So we decided to join the girls' dance group.
Oh my god!
Jamie and I. And it started out as let's just join, see what it's like, have a few lessons.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, fast forward, we stayed with the whole program and ended up performing at like what's probably Rod Laver now or whatever.
Okay. Yeah.
Ended up performing at like the whole dance in front of like a packed stadium, and me and Jamie had like knife and forks on our hand, and our job was to walk around the group saying "Our house." In the middle of the street. So so it was like a packed stadium. It was a classic times.
Yeah,
Classic times. But anyway, I think on that note, we won't. I think we'll try and keep the podcast to maybe under an hour to an hour.
Yeah, kind of like the 30-40 minute range.
Yeah, I think that's quite an engaging amount of time.
Yeah.
Okay, like I'm not being strict with it. If it's an interesting topic and we just keep talking, then obviously I'll let it go.
Yeah.
I would like to keep it to sort of that 45-minute mark.
Yep.
I think that's pretty cool. So on that note, please subscribe. Subscribe, show us some love. I'm trying to, hopefully as this grows, then we can get some more content out, but I'm aiming to have it out every Friday. So I've locked it in that I'm doing once a week. Every now and then.
So we'll obviously kind of record on like a Monday, Tuesday, and then that will obviously give you enough time to edit.
Yeah, so
get it out by Friday.
Yeah, so I'm gonna have once a week until the channel grows.
Yeah.
And occasionally I'm gonna have like bonus content, which might be sections I've chopped up and cut out just from like extended podcasts or different times we've had in this room.
Or just like cut out little funny bits that people.
Yeah, because obviously this room's also a studio, so sometimes I let the setup go when we're sort of jamming or mucking around or whatever. So. Yeah, so there will be bonus content, but it'll be once a week, released on Fridays. Gives you the weekend to sort of go through it, and it gives me time to edit it up, which actually does take a while. I've learnt. So, on that note, subscribe. Show us some love, please.
All right, cool. Episode 3, done. Taekwondo. Catch you later.
Taekwondo, always putting in.
Always a pleasure.
Always a pleasure. But on that note, let's wrap it up. Big fella.
All right, cool. Thanks.
Peace.
See you guys.